You may have seen the stunning photograph that became a viral phenomenon recently of a giant iceberg floating past a small town in Newfoundland, Canada. The residents there weren't as stunned as the rest of us, though. For them, icebergs are an annual sign of the end of winter. Dylan went up to see them for herself in our Sunday Spotlight.
There's magic in feeling small, experiencing something bigger than ourselves.
Gosh, that is so cool. That's unbelievable.
And nothing makes you feel smaller than sailing toward a colossal prehistoric chunk of ice.
This iceberg here is about 12 to 15,000 years old.
So it's got some history behind it.
Ancient. We call it the ancient ones.
Captain Barry Rogers of Iceberg Quest Boat Tours helped us greet these visitors to the Canadian island of Newfoundland.
Right around our beautiful province here, I mean, there's ice embedded in the small hamlets and bays, and you know, you get up one morning, oh, look in my front yard, really, you know. The world's intrigued with icebergs.
That intrigue recently spiked when this photo went viral, putting a spotlight on this remote corner of the world.
It did cause quite a stir.
That now famous iceberg parked itself right outside a bed and breakfast owned by Charlie and Maxine Dunn. For them, this is old hat.
As long as Newfoundland has been discovered, there's been icebergs drifting south, along Iceberg Alley. Yeah.
Iceberg Alley is the nickname for this easternmost region of North America. For hundreds of years, Greenland glaciers have shed massive hunks of ice that travel the cold currents of this rugged coastline. It's a striking and fitting feature for this unique edge of the earth kind of place.
It's a hard, rough island, and the people learned to rely on each other, and they worked hard and they partied hard.
I got a taste of that myself at an induction ceremony for newcomers.
All right, now this here, the Newfoundland Screech, you take it down one gulp and that's it, right to the gullet.
All right. Oh, God.
Screech may not go down so easy, but iceberg beer certainly does, especially when you're drinking it in the company of its secret ingredient.
So the beer is actually made using pure 20,000-year-old iceberg water, which is really the purest water on the earth.
But there's a downside to these frozen giants.
You heard the old cliche, the tip of the iceberg. Underneath the surface, there's 120 feet of water that this iceberg is ground high.
This hidden mass can pose a great threat to boats.
Iceberg, right ahead!
It's here in Iceberg Alley that the Titanic met its fate. Charlie, who is also a crab fisherman, knows this all too well.
The icebergs are absolutely wonderful to look at, and we get tourists coming by. And on the other side of the coin, it's terrifying to have an iceberg in the area.
You can see why. That's Charlie's boat, and that is an iceberg.
If a piece hits your boat, it's all over for you.
I do worry about him when he goes fishing.
Do you really?
But it's the fishermen who first settled and made a life on this rocky island.
Oh, take me home when it's England time again.
And for the icebergs, it's here that they sing their swan song.
This here is his death sentence.
It's too warm this time of year for the chilly travelers to continue their journey.
It's kind of sad that it's dying.
Breaks me up. Pardon the pun.
Right.
No better place to end a 20,000-year-old tale.
It's the story of icebergs.
Right. You had a good run.
Been a good run.
Oh, take me home.
Dylan, I love everything about that story.
So
the beautiful icebergs, the people, the fact that you were drinking so heavily at 6 o'clock in the morning.
That's true.
Nothing wrong with that.
The people are wonderful. And, you know, I did ask the captain about climate change and if they've seen more of these icebergs because of climate change. She said, you know, we don't really look at it that way because this has been happening for centuries. In the warmer months, this is what they do. The icebergs break off of the glaciers up in Greenland. And so that beer I was drinking, we're not depleting a precious resource. It's called Bergie bits that break off the icebergs, and they take that and melt that down. And that's what they make the beer out of.
The amazing thing to me, too, is how they're not surprised at all. We saw those photographs, these viral photographs.
Right.
Oh, my gosh, this must be a once-in-a-lifetime thing. And they said, no, this is spring.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Spring in Newfoundland.
Yes. And the Screech shot, You okay? Have you recovered?
That was the hardest alcohol I've ever shot before. Not that I'm shooting
saying
alcohol all the
something.
time, but you're supposed to actually kiss a cod after you take that shot. Luckily, there was no cod on board. So.
And by the way, we have on our website, today.com/Sunday, the full coverage of
Yes.
Dylan's shot and the screech itself, where you scream after that shot.
That's why they call it screech, because you're like,
It earns its name.
Yes.
Dylan, thanks. Great piece.
Hello, Today fans. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking that button down there and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives.